and probably meet friends. But at Toastmasters, we have more than one goal of making people laugh. So in case you don't know, every speech, and that is what will take us to those 5 P's. So what are the 5 P's? We have purpose, push, pie, practice, and present. Follow this accordingly in order, and you're on your way to grab your trophy. What is the purpose? That is the reason to clarify your goal. Why are you delivering this speech? Why are you participating in a humorous speech contest? You must have a goal, clear, lucid on your mind. And your purpose is to deliver a speech with a defined structure and time frame, with the aim to amuse the audience and add value. You see the bolded text, amuse the audience and add value. That's the second part that they don't necessarily have. Because every speech has two, the purpose of every speech is classified into two. The first one is the obvious one. Maybe you want to advance on your pathways, and you will see your evaluator will read out the purpose of that speech, what you are expected to look out for. Probably you are practicing to develop a particular skill. Or maybe the obvious, maybe you are a public officer and you need to deliver certain speech. It's obvious, everybody knows. But there is another value, another purpose, which is subject to the speaker. That's the message you want to pass. That is secondary. So even a humorous speech, aside the fact that you want to make people laugh, you also want to give them something to take away. Please bear in mind. Making people laugh is all good, and it is very important. It's a yardstick of a successful humorous speech. But you also want to subtly infuse some value, something they can take away. You want to leave them better than the way you've met them. Always think of humor as decoration. Your message is your foundation. This is to clarify the misconception that humorous speech is just a combination of jokes. You just want to go there and make people laugh at all costs. But then that is not the case. A proper humorous speech is a structured speech, and you must have a story to tell. So all those aspects where people laugh are just icing on the cake. They are just decorations, just to spice things up. You must have your story that you want to tell, and that is your message, which is the foundation of your speech. So let's take a closer look at each of these steps, starting with the pop. Okay, we've taken a look at the purpose, followed by the push. What is the push? The push is finding your inspiration. How do you get inspiration for a humorous speech? What is that spark? What's that idea? To excel, you have to either do two things. You have to do either of two things. Look for a funny story to tell, or tell a regular story in a funny way. This works almost all the time. Most people are afraid to partake in, in a humorous speech because they see themselves as someone who is not funny. But I tell you today, the fact that you are not naturally funny, you can actually excel at delivering a humorous speech by looking out for a funny story. There are some stories that they are just funny on their own. Whether if you like, frown your face while delivering them, people will still laugh. But they are little or far between. I'm not sure if you have such story, but even if you don't have, even the regular stories, the regular speeches that you deliver, you can deliver them in a funny way. So if you're looking for a funny story, they are around you. So you need to observe your surroundings and experiences. Find humor in everyday life. Pay attention as you live. What are life quirks and absurdities around you? Personal anecdotes. Then build on a relatable joke. So instead of bringing several jokes together that are unrelated, look at one joke that is very relevant to your audience. Then you can expand it into a story. You can add to it and structure it accordingly. So all these are ideas by which you can come up, you can find the push for your story. How about now when you even have story, how about making it funny? Here are a few tips and tricks. Number one, embrace self-deprecation. In my winning speech, this was one of the strengths of that speech because I started with some sort of self-deprecation. I thought I had 15 minutes. Is that all?
That's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I will just rush through the rest of the slides. So my first statement in that speech was, do you know I used to be much taller? And I followed up with, in my dreams. That staggered people. So you also want to understand your audience. It's important you know the audience you're talking with. We're the heart of a screenwriter. I said it earlier that you need to deliver a structured speech. So your speech must have a plot, a theme. So it's not just different types of sentences put together. It must be structured and meaningful. Avoid ransom notes. Avoid saying things like, you are about to laugh. What I'm about to say now will make you laugh. That is why people will refuse to laugh if you say things like that. So avoid holding your audience to ransom. Moderate your laughter. The fact that you are the one delivering the speech doesn't mean that you have to be the first person to laugh. Be mindful. Let the audience be the judge. Exploit words, phrases, and expressions, right? After writing your speech, that's why I said regular speeches can be turned into humorous speeches. So you pay attention to each word and see how you can make the best of them, right? There are some words that have more than one meaning. You can use that to put in your jokes, phrases, and expressions. As in my speech, I use this word, woman. Where I said that I got married to a woman. Instead of saying the regular woman, I say woman, which I had it in a sheet of paper and I wrote the meaning that an adult female that attracts men with sweet words. That is to woo man. You understand? So that is playing on words. Infuse a lesson and call to action. I said that earlier. Then originality sells more. Try to be original. Of course, you cannot quote a fellow contestant in your delivery. The pie is about structuring for success. And as Toastmasters, we already understand. We understand what it takes to structure speeches. So I'm not going to dwell on that. Break it into opening, body, and conclusion. Effective storytelling requires a hook, conflict, and resolution. Hook is something that will bring your audience closer at the beginning to attract their attention, something compelling. The conflict is that part of the story where the climax, that's the high point of the story, something that needs to be resolved, then the resolution. Plan out your actions, gestures, expressions. If you are using, if you have any visual aid, props, you need to plan where exactly and how exactly you are going to use it. Then you practice, rehearse your mastery, practice out loud. As Toastmasters, we already understood how we normally practice our speeches. You need to practice with time. Record, use a mirror or an audience. Use your materials while you practice. Don't say, I'm going to use it. Actually use it while you practice, because you never know what could go wrong. Pre-experience the stage if possible. Immerse yourself using the stage. If you can visit the place so that you know how you can actually navigate and put it to the best. Then what could go wrong? You want to imagine certain scenarios. So should you memorize? Get this question. My point is, if you cannot memorize the entire speech, which is usually not advisable, please, there are certain parts of your speech that are important, that are crucial. Make sure you memorize them. Then familiarize yourself with the judging criteria, just briefly. Then to present, show up according to your speech. You need to dress according to your message. Follow your plan and adapt. Don't try to do something new. Just deliver the way you've practiced. Use transitions effectively. Transitions are very key. In my speeches, there was a way I tied my opening to the body. So in the beginning, I said I got married after a year of joining Toastmasters. And in the body of the speech, I said, didn't I tell you that I got married? But nobody asked me to whom. Well, I got married, so I went on like that. So you tied it all together. Pause with a purpose. Using pauses in our speeches, we already know this. Then vary tone, pace, and volume. Your vocal variety. If somebody else is speaking in the speech, you want to mimic their voice. Break the fourth wall. What is the fourth wall? That is the imaginary wall or interference between the stage and the audience. So you want to bring your audience into the presentation, ask them questions, get them, engage them, then use visual aids where necessary, like I did in my winning speech. So the judging criteria are in three parts. We have the content, delivery, and the language. The content is the master. So that's why you need to take time to really find a push, your inspiration, and how you put all those spice into it. Speech development is 15 marks. Effectiveness, then speech value. I talked about value. Then audience awareness. You need to know your audience. Very important in a humorous speech. There are certain jokes that are not meant for certain group of people. So my speech, I tailored it to the audience because I knew I was speaking to Toastmasters. So that speech will sell at any Toastmasters meeting, I tell you. So delivery is 30 marks. Your physique, your voice and manner, I touched on them. Then the language is the appropriateness. And no matter how good you are, that is what gave someone like me who has not mastered the pronunciation right to be able to, because not much is not accorded to language, but then it is also important. So remember your 5 P's to your win. Is the purpose, the push, pie, practice, then you present. Clarify your goal. Find your inspiration, structure for success, rehearse till mastery, then deliver. With flair. Thank you for the opportunity. And it's back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
I'm short of words. Thank you, thank you, thank you again and again. The tall man. Did I just say the tall man? And again, Toastmaster Razak or Deja, it's good to follow, as they say in local parlance, follow who sabi road. In Queen's English, follow one that knows the road, that has been there before. Thank you very much. A thumbs up. I can't see the emojis. Let us continue to applaud. Let me lead the way. Thank you again and again. The tallest man in the room, Toastmaster Razak or Dejayi. So quickly, we'll proceed to ask him questions. So please, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you have any question for our contest winner, because this is the contest winner, please, can you indicate by show of hands, raise your hand so I can beckon on you to ask your question. So if you have a question, please, can I see your hands, please? So Tutmasa Razak or Dejayi has just told us to follow the 5 Ps and you'll be the humorous contest winner. So if you know you want to follow the 5 Ps and you are here and you have questions, maybe you have it in at the back of your mind and you have doubts, Toastmaster Razak or Dejayi is here to clarify them. Is there a question in the chat, boss? Okay, it seems we all understood the message, but I can't see any question. Okay. So, Ambassador Ahmed, please, over to you. Take it away from me. Ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Toastmaster Razak, for such an interesting. Hello, am I audible?
Go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Okay. I just want to ask, between writing the speech and practicing it, which one do you think one should put more emphasis? Between writing the speech and delivering the speech.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Ahmed Omar. Between writing the speech and delivering or practicing the speech, which part should you focus more attention? I think both parts is important, but like it's in order, right? You can practice what you've not written. So just pay attention to them based on the order, right? You have to start something before the second stage. So you pay attention to what you even want to practice. So if you don't have a good speech already, no matter how well you practice, right? You are just practicing. God forbid you practice yourself to failure, right? So you want to make sure that what you want to practice is very well done. Then you also pay attention to practicing and delivering it well. So both parts are very important, but one comes before another. So you want to do a good job at preparing the speech, practicing it, then also endeavor, try your best to also deliver it with flair, like I explained. Both are very important and crucial. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So does that answer your question, my ambassador?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So any other question before we wrap it up with the
There's a hand in the chat.
training? Okay. Okay, Abdul, take it away from me. Your question, please, Abdul.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that presentation, Toastmaster Razak Odejai. So I thanks a lot for that presentation. So my question essentially is that can we make use of black humor? And I'm asking that question because you said we should be mindful of our audience, right, and their demographic. So I just wanted to confirm if we can make use of black humor.
If I may ask, what do you mean by black humor, please?
So black humor, like a way to trivialize serious matter. I can't think of an example now, like
Okay.
something like realizing death. What else? I'm trying to think of a perfect example. But generally, black humor.
Okay. So I think if we are talking about in the Toastmasters context, right? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes.
Well, as long as it's something that Toastmasters can relate with, yes, I believe you can. It's for humorous purpose.
Okay, okay, thank you.
There's a clarification in the chat as well of what black humor is.
Oh, thank you for that.
Okay, why we read through what we have in the chat box? Do we have any other question? For want of time, okay. Mr. Timer, accurate timer. I guess you used to be a timer while in primary and secondary school. Thank you for bringing it to my face. The accurate timekeeper. So thank you again and again. Immense appreciation to Master Razak or Dejai. Thank you for telling us to just follow the 5 Ps and you will be the humorous contest winner. So all I need to do is to print these 5 Ps that you have given us today, put it by my bedside, walk with it in my pocket, just follow anywhere you go. I should allow the 5 Ps to accompany me and I'll be the Division D winner. So fellow Toastmasters, and I think we should have some guests. You have Toastmaster Francis as your potential Division D humorous contest winner. Thanks to the information from our facilitator. Just follow
Congratulations
the
in
5 Ps.
advance.
Just print it all, keep it by your bedside, go with it. But you know that is just humorously speaking. If you do that at the same local balance, your name is sorry. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you again to Master Razak Odejayi. So before we call it quits, so he said, always think humor as what? Someone should type it in the chat box. Always think of humor as dash. Your message is your dash. So there's a form of rhyme there. So always think of humor as dash. Wow, somebody has gotten it. Then I need the other one. Your message is your what? Think of humor as what? Your message as what? No, keep trying. Someone else. It rhymes. The last 4 letters. Foundation. Oh, I have wonderful Toastmasters in the house. You all are contest winners. Toastmaster Abba, B1, Ayo, Radel. Go there further and win your respective contest at your club. Thank you again. Toastmaster, the tall man, Razak Odejayi. So quickly segue into the second training because this session is the session of humorous contest and table topics contest. So our facilitator for this second segment is one of our own. Is a public speaker of international repute. Is a public speaking system architect, to put it aptly. He loves to read. He loves playing volleyball. He loves to shake his body. He loves movies. He's a trainer of trainers, a mentor of mentors. He joined Toastmaster in the year 2012 before some of us were even born. He dreams, he lives, he speaks. Everything Toastmasters. As it is said, according to Tom Peters, an American author, that communication is man's panacea to everything. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, to learn, to help us how to think on our feet and speak with conviction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I welcome to your wonderful screens this bright, this rainy afternoon, our very own, a man after my heart, my mentor, past president, you can name it all, Toastmaster, I prophesy into his life, soon to be DTM, John Onumia. Please make welcome Toastmaster John Onumia to take us on the table topics session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Francis. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. It's a delight
Good
to be here.
afternoon.
And I would like to ask, how many of us like table topics? If you like table topics, put yes in the chat. If you're not such a big fan, then you can put no in the chat. And while I'm looking for those responses, please, can I be made a co-host? I want to share something briefly. Great. Toastmaster Josephine, yes. Toastmaster Marvelous, yes. No, no, yes, yes, yes. And by the way, the question I'm asking is you participating in table topics, not you enjoying other people participating in table topics. Table topics contest is an interesting one. You get to speak for a minimum of 1 minute, maximum of 2 minutes. And if you speak for less than 1 minute, you're disqualified. More than 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you are disqualified for a topic you know nothing about. The contest chair is in charge of it. When you come to deliver your table topics speech, there is something you are judged on. And for some reason, most people don't look at this criteria. This is what you are judged on. I want all of us to look at this. First, speech development, meaning body, opening, close, organization, smoothness. The judges look at this. The effectiveness, even though it's impromptu, is it logical? Is it direct? Is there enthusiasm in the way you're delivering the speech? Does it achieve the purpose and the audience response? Which is peculiar because many times they say, do not give them applause, do not respond, especially at the end. But the response of the audience is very important when it comes to judges looking at the quality of your speech. Physical, your appearance. Yes, the way you dress is important, the way you stand, your body language, your use of speaking area. Voice, is it flexible? Is there volume? The appropriateness of your speech to the speech purpose as well as the audience. Meaning, when you're delivering a speech, even though it's impromptu, you need to consider who you're speaking in front of. And finally, correctness. Grammar, pronunciation, word selection. Fellow Toastmasters, it is possible that you do better than other speakers in 5 areas, and that last one is what brings the person above you. And when the contest is over, they are wondering why the other person won and not you. Because from the audience perspective, they should have done better. You need to prepare your speech, even though it's impromptu, in such a manner that it fits into all categories and it does well. Most people, surprisingly, said yes, they like table topics, which is good. That means that you are well on your way to be a table topics champion. In a table topics contest, what is going to happen is that the contest chair will come up, call your name, mention the topic for the first time, mention the topic again, and finally call your name. At that point, you move to your speaking area and you start speaking. Please note, I have mentioned to the Toastmaster of the day, I've been in a slew of meetings today. Unfortunately, we don't have electricity here, which means if my second laptop, this is the second laptop I'm using for whatever reason, should go off, the TMOD might have to continue for where I am, so I'll try and speed things up. But as I was saying, when you come up to speak, you have to remember all those things that the judges are looking at, not your friends, not how you feel, what the judges are looking at. That means that you need to have a clear structure. And for many of us that said no, we don't like table topics and we don't volunteer to speak often, I highly recommend that you start doing that a lot. This is how you practice to win your speech contest. Why? It makes it easier to craft a speech quickly. When the contest chair asks the question by just saying it, once again, your name, question, and finally your name, it's okay to spend a few seconds creating the structure of your speech. The mistake I see a number of people making is when they ask the question, they just start speaking. Because we have the illusion that if I don't speak quickly, people may think I don't know what to say or I'm not smart enough. That is not good. Take a few seconds. Here's what you should do. In the few seconds that you're spending to think, look at the audience. Go from left to right, right to left, look backwards. It makes it seem like you're reflecting, you're pondering, you're this mysterious speaker. In those few seconds, you have crafted a body. I went for a speaking contest, and note, before the speech was even asked, the question was asked, I already had an idea of what I was going to say. And some of you may be saying, how do you do that? If you have a speech crafted general idea, if the question doesn't fit in exactly, you can tweak it. If it does, perfect. You can go ahead and deliver what you have. That's one way people can help themselves perform well when it comes to table topics. Another area is questions. Toastmasters, if you are not using questions to your benefit, then you may be missing out on a lot. What do I mean by questions? When somebody randomly asks the question, in this context, the contest chair, you can use the question to buy you more time to think. What is your most notable event? Has anyone ever asked you that question before? As you're asking this question, you're thinking. For me, when I hear notable, I remember this story. The time you bought at the beginning has given you the opportunity to think about things you can use. Questions, stories are your friends when it comes to table topics. Remember, you want intro, body, and conclusion, as well as thinking about all the things the judges will look at. If you can only meet one, it's not beneficial. Two, it's not beneficial. Three, it's not beneficial. If you can incorporate all six, that is your best bet. And to prepare for that one day, constantly be preparing. When I joined Toastmasters and I got the courage to eventually say that I was going to speak and improve myself, because initially I was comparing myself to the amazing speakers I saw before me, and I said, I am not going to be speaking because I'm not good enough. When I eventually said I will move forward and speak because I've paid, and you only improve by what? Speaking. I started signing up for the Toastmaster of the Day role, and then I created a boundary for myself. What was my boundary? I would always show up to meetings, and when I show up, I would always speak. And how would I do that? Maybe play a role, give a speech, or volunteer for table topics. Every single time. When you are preparing for a speech contest, attend as many meetings as feasible and volunteer for table topics. This is good practice. Aside from preparing on your own, recording, gathering some friends together and speaking in their presence, you ask them to throw questions at you, attend meetings and volunteer for table topics and let people give feedback. The way you improve is by speaking. No other way. Speak. Volunteer at meetings and speak. You have so many people there to give you feedback and to help you improve. it is the best way to prepare for your table topic speech contest. If vocal variety is your issue, then think about what makes your voice have that flexibility and give it the volume. If body language is the issue, practice it, especially when you have virtual meetings. Why did I say especially? Because we tend to have more virtual meetings than physical meetings. But the practice is what makes you grow. For table topics, always start with the judges' criteria, fellow Toastmasters. I don't care what your friends think about you. I don't care what other people think about you. Start with the judges' criteria. Think, how can I improve this? And then go and practice as often as you can. Personally, that is what has helped me grow the most when it comes to table topics. You can't really prepare for the question because ideally you don't know the question, but you can prepare to be a better candidate to win the table topics at whatever level. And I'll give this final advice. Try and use from your own life experience. Sometimes you try and sound scholarly, you try and outperform someone else. It doesn't really help. You miss out on many of the criteria that judges are looking out for. Why? It doesn't touch your emotions. You don't know how to really let your body speak what you're trying to say if it doesn't really come from your experience. The best, my opinion, the best way to hit all those notes, what the judges are going to look for, is to pull out from your experience. But beyond that, Toastmasters, practice, practice, practice. That would be the best way, in my opinion, to set yourself up for success when it comes to table topics. That's a summary. Later, we'll get the chance to ask questions, but I would like to ask the Toastmaster of the day, is it okay that I speak on the role players for speech contest now, just to permit me to get in as much as feasible before, who knows,
Please
I am removed from the room.
proceed as you deem fit.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the timer doing such a diligent job. Speech contest. How many of us in the room have ever participated in speech contest before? Please let me see it in the chat. If you've participated in a speech contest. Thank you. Yes, I saw Toastmaster Ayo there. Absolutely. Oh, great. We have a number of people here. How many of us have never participated in speech contest? Say, I have never. Put never before. Never. Put never in the chat. Let me see. How many of us here? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. A number of us. First, let me say, if you're not new to Toastmasters, new meaning the last few months, I highly recommend that you do this. For a speech contest, it's a different type of challenge. And if you want to become a better speaker, I say challenge yourself as much as possible. It's one thing to speak in front of an audience you're familiar with. It's a different thing to speak in front of a completely new environment, a new group of people that you have no clue who they are, what they are thinking. For speech contest, you get to enjoy that at the area level, at the division level, at the district level, if you get that far. For speech contest, the two major people happen to be first, the contest chair, and second, the chief judge that anchor all of that. Just to confirm, how many of us here are vice president's education? Type I am if you're the vice president education. If you're, thank you. If you're vice president, okay, I see a hand. Great. At least we have two of them in the room. Any other one? Great. Vice president education, this is important. Cool. At least 4 people. If you are the contest chair, you need to know the responsibility of the contest chair. Those of us here, generally what happens is that the vice president education takes a lot of the responsibility of the contest chair. What does the contest chair do? Before the contest chair is in charge of everything. I mean, planning the agenda, getting the venue, all the logistics, the contest chair is in charge. They can get a team and you can be part of the team, the vice president education. What we tend to do is the vice president education takes charge of all that and just expects the contest chair to come and be the Toastmaster of the day or the MC. Note, the contest chair can actually get a contest Toastmaster. What do I mean by that? It means the contest chair doesn't have to be the one that goes through the contest itself, be the MC in that program. They can have a contest Toastmaster to do that. They run the entire program. What that means is if you take away their responsibility, the administrative part, contest chairs generally don't get to grow as much as they can. And that's a problem. One moment, please. Excuse me. The contest chair don't get to grow as much as they can. Before the contest as well, what does the contest chair do? They pick the chief judge. Yes, the contest chair is the one who picks the chief judge, not the vice president education or anyone else. What else is the contest chair responsible for? The things that pertain to the contestants. The contest chair is in charge of that. Meaning the person in charge of briefing the contestants. Briefing means informing them and giving them information about the contest. That is the contest chair. Ideally, and I know this isn't done often, ideally at least 2 weeks before your contest, which would be funny to many of us here, because we are thinking, how often do contestants get briefed 2 weeks before a contest? Ideally, this is how much time should pass between briefing and the contest, minimum, if practical. If it's not, you do what you can, but this is the ideal. And in that briefing, what happens? There are different documents the contestant should have. First, everyone should know that every year the contest rule book is updated. Do you know this? Yes or no in the chat, please. Do you know that every year the contest rule book is updated? Yes or no? I see thumbs up. Thank you for that. If you know, please say yes. If you don't, say no. Yes, yes, great. No, yeah. Good, good. Fantastic. Every year it's updated. Please familiarize yourself with the contest rule book every year, not the one you knew from the past. The one for 2025 is available. That is what we should be using for the contest we are going to be running. The contest chair should ensure that all contestants have that the chief judge has that and disseminates it to their team. And in the briefing, this is one of the documents they ensure that they have. There's a document they're going to sign for originality and eligibility. The contestants need to confirm that the speech they're delivering is their own creation. You are not allowed to have more than 25% of your speech be from a different source. Different source being a quote or something someone else said. If you have something someone else said, reference it, by the way. And note, you can be disqualified if you refer to a contestant's speech during your speech. Let me say that again. If you refer to another contestant's speech while you are speaking, you can be disqualified. Who are the people that can bring this up? Other contestants and the voting judges are allowed to bring this up. As the speaker, you're allowed to challenge it in front of the voting judges. And if most of the judges vote that you should be disqualified, you will be disqualified. The audience is not allowed to disqualify you for whatever reason or bring up an issue of eligibility, anything. It should come from the other contestants or the voting judges. They bring it up to the chief judge or the contest chair. This is important to note. They'll also send in their profile, which is very important because the contest chair is going to use it later to interview the contestants. And all these things will happen during the briefing before the contest. What else happens? You do a ballot to know the order of speaking. And that's the order that will be sent to all the voting judges via the chief judge. The contest chair will send it to the chief judge, who will now disseminate it to all the voting judges so they know the order of the speakers. During the contest, what happens? The contest chair, who is also in charge of getting the sergeant at arms, or VPEs, I hope you're noting that essentially all you do is the responsibility of the contest chair. If you're part of the team, please, you can keep doing that. But the contest chair is in charge of all this. They start the session, the contest chair starts. If the speaker doesn't come before the contest commences, the person in charge is introduced, assuming briefing was done long before, you are disqualified. But if they happen to come in, let me give an example. A number of us will do our briefing right before our contest. If the briefing is done that morning, you can have a runner-up come and stand in for the speaker for that briefing, or the speaker can waive their rights to a briefing. But once the contest chair or the person in charge of the contest, maybe the contest toastmaster, has been introduced, if the speaker is not there, automatically disqualified. The contest chair runs the contest. For humorous speech contest is the name of the contestant, the title of their speech, the title of the speech, and the name. That's all. You don't introduce anyone, you don't say anything else, and they come up and speak. For table topic, what happens? You call the name of the speaker, the topic which you, the contest chair, are in charge of coming up with, and it should please be a general topic, not specific. It should be easy to understand. It should be something that you know most people can speak on. You're not trying to confuse anyone, please. Very important. You now call the speaker and they go ahead and speak. After each speaker speaks, you have a minute silence. Timed. The timer should please time this. Once that's done, you move on to the next speaker. And this goes on. By the time all contestants are done speaking, you now have the timer waits. You don't have any limit to time. All the judges should finish their ballots, give the ballots to the ballot counter, and when the chief judge confirms to the contest chair that they are done, that is when you proceed. At that point, it should only be silence. Why? The judges are trying to collect their thoughts and properly give feedback to the contestants. Many times, we have people speaking during this time where they should be quiet, and it can confuse the judges. Let's proceed. When the ballots are taken from all the judges and the chief judge and the ballot counter go to a different room to count the ballots, during this time, the contest chair can interview contestants using the profile sheet that they gave earlier. When that's done and the chief judge and the ballot counters are done going through the ballots, the details are all stated there. They'll come and give the results to the contest chair. Note, it's during this period that any issue of disqualification should be raised by other contestants or voting judges. The contest chair, if it's an issue of time, would need to announce it if anyone is disqualified. But if you're disqualified for any other reason, you don't need to announce it. You don't announce the names, note. You just say 2 people were disqualified because they did not stick to the allotted time. That's all, simple. If it's a contestant raises an issue, they quoted my speech, that is not going to be stated. But the voting judges can vote if it's appealed by the speaker. It's brought before the contest chair, and he now announces the results. There's actually a lot that goes into this contest. I hope you're beginning to realize that. What else does the contest chair do? Other than what I just explained in the contest, by the time the contest is over, they will need to get the list, the entire list of contestants and their positions, because it needs to be taken to the next level. Area, division, they need to be informed of the positions of the contestants, not just first, second, and third. Why? Some people may not be able to make it to that level. The runner-up should just fill their spot. And if there's any other form of publicity afterwards, contest chair is in charge of that. If there's any payment to any vendor, contest chair is in charge of that. It's not the VPE, it's not the VPPR, it's not the VPM, whoever it may be. Contest chair should handle these things. VPEs, please take notes. You can discuss this with your contest chair, or let them know that this is what is expected and see if the contest chair is willing to do those things. Of course, you can be part of the team. Note that I'm rushing because time is going, and I also don't want to be kicked out before I am able to conclude. The chief judge, what they do? Chief judge is in charge of all role players. Who are the role players in a contest? Voting judges, tie-breaking judge, which is different from voting judges, timers, ballot counters. These are the people you need. For a contest, typically, we should have at least 5 voting judge if it's practical, at least 5. We should have 2 timers generally, if it's practical, 2 ballot counters, 1 tie-breaking judge. The tie-breaking judge is known only to the chief judge. No one else knows who the tie-breaking judge is. The tie-breaking judge does not show up for the briefing, which the chief judge does as well with all role players. Tie-breaking judge will talk one-on-one to the chief judge at any time of their convenience, will be given his or her own document, the ballot, and will rank every single speaker during a contest and give that privately to the chief judge, not to the ballot counters. It will give the ranks to the chief judge alone. The voting judges, they'll also be given the new rule book. They'll have to sign an eligibility document for all the judges. This is very important. And there's a way of getting proper judges at every level. You need to inform contestants and judges about the consequence of what they are signing. Let me explain. If you are going to compete in a speech contest and you make it to the area level, division level, district level, and it's discovered at the district level that when you were competing in your club, you were not eligible then. Now you're eligible. You were not eligible when you were competing at your club. Fellow Toastmasters, you'll be disqualified. It sounds harsh, extremely brutal, but that is the rule as at today. If you were not eligible at any level when competing and it has been rectified, you are going to be disqualified when it is discovered. It's very important to note that, fellow Toastmasters. The chief judge also needs to inform the judges that if they are not eligible, there'll be consequences later on. What will the timer get? The timer gets a timing sheet that they are going to use and their timing equipment. They are going to record all the times for every single speaker. Note, if any speaker does not keep to time, they are going to be disqualified. This record is very important. What does the ballot counter get? The ballot counters will get the ballots from the judges and fill it into the tally sheet. The tally sheet is what the chief judge and the ballot counters leave the room to go and collate. The chief judge should ensure it's counted at least 2 times to prevent or minimize errors before you write the order of speakers from 3rd, 2nd, 1st, if there are more than 3 contestants, if only 2, 2nd and 1st. From the highest, if you're saying 3 is the highest, to the winner, in that order. The ballot counters, please, if you're playing this role, be as discreet as possible. The voting judges should not be known to anyone except the role players. The tie-breaking judge should not be known to anyone except the chief judge. If there's a tie after the voting judges are done collating their ballots, which really was done by the ballot counters, it is what the tie-breaking judge does and gives to the chief judge that will determine who emerges higher than the other speaker. If the tie-breaking judge has someone as 4th and someone as 5th, and those 2 were tied, it's the person that is 4th that will emerge higher than the other contestants. I hope this makes sense. That is why the role of tie-breaking judge is pivotal when it comes to speech contests. Do not joke with that role. The contestants are allowed to approach the chief judge, and any issues they have, that's when they get to say it. And the chief judge is supposed to approach the contest chair before they give the results. Before the contest chair announces any results, you have to address any issues regarding eligibility, regarding the use of other people's language, sentence, speech, whatever it may be. But it must be brought up by the contestants as well as the voting judges. What else should happen? During the meeting or before the meeting, perhaps, the contest chair and the chief judge should agree on when the need arises to pause, what sign should they give each other? Pauses can occur in speech contests. It can be an issue of time. It can be an issue of maybe someone feeling ill. It varies, really. But they should have a signal for one another to pause the contest, and there's an allowed amount of time that can be paused for. If it's as a result of a time issue, maybe it's a virtual meeting and there was an issue with the timing, you can give as much as 30 seconds. If it's some other issue, it's based on your discretion. This should be agreed upon between the contest chair and the chief judge. During the meeting, the timer should please stay in a position where they are not blocking the audience, but they are clearly visible to the speaker. For humorous speech contests, the speech is from 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes, the timer shows the green card. You show the green card from that point to 6 minutes when it's the yellow card. You show the yellow card from that point to 7 minutes when it's the red card. And you do not put down the red card until the speaker is done. Table topics, at 1 minute, you show the green card. You keep it up for 30 seconds. 1 minute, 30 seconds, you show the yellow card. You keep it up for 30 seconds. 2 minutes, you show the red card, and you do not bring it down until the speaker is done. Do not let the speaker know you have reached the 30 seconds mark. You are about to reach it. No, just keep the red card up. Don't flash it. This is very important. I've been to too many speech contests where the card is flashed rather than keeping it up the entire time. This is not good practice, please. And what else should the chief judge do? The chief judge should ensure that all judges are comfortable with the judging criteria. This happens during the briefing. All the judges need to be able to judge. If you're going to be a judge, let me just quickly assist. I showed, no, Toastmaster Sunday, please confirm. I think the humor speech contest is 5 to 7, but you can confirm. It will be good to note it. I had the speech rule book open. Toastmaster Sunday just brought something up now. Let me check. For 2025, and this is why we're here to learn. 2025, 2026. So I'm opening the rule book to check the timing for humor speech contest. Testing briefing. You permit me? Once again, Toastmaster Francis, if I am disconnected from my laptop, please take over. I think Toastmaster Emmanuel, I saw you in the room earlier. Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme, are you in the room?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. If I'm disconnected briefly from my laptop, please, I would love you to share briefly your experience in preparing for the table topic speech contest. Dear Toastmasters, this is our division champion at the last division level contest for table topics. He's going to give you some tips on how he was able to get to that level. And thank you, Toastmaster Jagon, for confirming. The humorous speech contest is 5 to 7 minutes. That's why we're here to learn. No, Toastmaster Sunday, what you did is very good. All of us have different perceptions. Please, when they come up, this is the place to ask questions. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time, and some of us cannot be here that long. But this is where you clarify things. But let me just conclude. So the chief judge has to confirm that the judges know how to actually judge. I showed you the criteria for table topics, for instance. Let me quickly go there. I think I'll end on this note because of time. If you're a judge, you see where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You write the names of the contestants there. The first contestant will be your yardstick. You have speech development. What do you think about the person? Was it excellent, very good, good? If you think very good, then go to very good. And between 23 and 29, assign them a number. You do the exact same thing for effectiveness, physical, voice, appropriateness, correctness. By the time the second speaker comes, you go speech development. What do you think? Excellent, very good, good. If it happens to be very good, the exact same as the first speaker, you now ask yourself, do you think their speech development was better or worse than the first speaker? If it was worse, you score them lower. If it was better, you score them higher. And you do the exact same thing throughout. You need to assess each speaker as they speak, not when they've all finished speaking. It's very important. Please assess them immediately. It's easier for you to remember what they sounded like, how they made you feel, the quality of their body language, not later. And you use each other as yardsticks, please. This contestant will be the yardstick for this. This next contestant, you're comparing them for every criteria if you're going to be a judge. This makes it easier to actually compare the contestants for all the things you're going to be looking out for. Don't go based on your feeling. Those are some of the things that are very important to do for speech contests. Please go through the rule book. The rule book has been updated. Everyone you're contesting, contest chair, chief judge, voting judge, tie-breaking judge, go through the rule book. Familiarize yourself with what is expected and prepare yourself for a successful speech contest. That is a quick summary. There's a lot. I tried to rush it to be within the allotted time. A quick summary of what I had to share for the contest. While I move from my laptop to my phone, I would like to call on Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme to briefly talk about some things that helped you get to the level of being division table topics champion. Please, can we welcome him?
Good evening, Toastmasters and possible guests. It's an honor for me to be here. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster John, for inviting me. My response is going to be like a table topics. No preparation, nothing. I was just waiting for you to just ask me. I think for me, what has worked for me is first putting myself in a very good frame of mind, the mindset. Occasionally, I've found myself rehearsing a few starters. It's just generic question. I give myself generic question. In the event I'm asked a question about me, here is how I'll probably start. In the event I'm asked a question about the country, about society, here is how I'll probably start. In the event where I'm asked a question where I have to agree or disagree, here is how I'll probably start. So it's that mindset, putting yourself in that mindset, not overthinking it. I found myself in situation where I overthought something and it backfired on me. So don't overthink, be natural. And I think I like what Toastmaster John said, tell your story. Every speech contest I've ever participated in, all I've told was my story. It's easier to tell your story because it's easier to remember. It's easier to say what happened to you. And you're not going to struggle. You don't have to garnish it or embellish it or just tell your story. and let the judges, decide. So that's just pretty much of what I can think of at this time. Remember your mindset. Put yourself in that frame of mind. Focus on the audience. I'm here to deliver a speech, not on your competitors. Don't worry about your competitors. They too are awesome. Focus on your audience and focus on the fact that you have a story that needs to be heard. Now, depending on what you're asked, then you will unleash that story. And if you must, animate yourself also. Make sure your body language speaks the story also. Where there is sadness, you have to show sadness. Where there's excitement, you have to show excitement. So make sure you speak, not just with your voice, you speak with your mind, your body, and everything that you have. And maybe you could be just the next champion. Thank you so much. I hand over right now to Toastmaster John.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Emmanuel Eme. Please, can we give him a very round of applause? My apologies. I have changed device from one to the next. I'm currently on my phone, and hopefully this will permit me to be here. And since it was makeshift, I don't have my stand, so it may be shaking a bit. Do we have any questions? I think we have a few minutes for questions. You can ask questions for table topics as well as the general contest. Any questions? Mr. TMO, if I'm unable to see the hands, please, I may need your assistance.
Standing by, my mentor.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? While we await questions, great. I see Toastmaster KQ. Please go ahead.
Good evening, TM John. So for my question, there was a part in the beginning of the speech where you said that when you're giving a table topics question, you should take some time to walk around. Now, for contests, timing starts the moment you make a gesture that says that you're about to speak. Wouldn't your time start counting, and is that not a waste of valuable time?
Thank you so much for that question, Toastmaster KQ. When you say waste, you are comparing it to something. What I'm comparing, taking a few seconds to think, is compared to just speaking without structuring your speech. Remember, one of the things the judges will look at is structure, body, or rather intro, body, conclusion. I have been to too many speech contests where the speakers, very eloquent, very articulate, but they kept rambling on. For that reason, they were not able to win. If they had taken some seconds to ponder on what they want to speak about, it will help them actually have a better table topic speech. I'm not saying use 15 seconds. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying use 20 seconds. No. 3, 4, even 5 seconds, really. It's okay. It's going to seem like an eternity for you as the speaker, but it's going to help you at the end. Please note, if you have a speech ready once you hear the question, there may not be any need to wait before speaking. Please go ahead and speak. Does that help, Toastmaster KQ?
Yes, I think it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Toastmaster, wow, I've not seen this name before. Tom Barry, don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Please go ahead and please confirm how your name is pronounced.
Thank you very much. My name is Tom Barry. I wasn't sure if I was going to be allowed to raise my hand and speak because I feel like I'm still very new to the whole game of table topics. So I just wanted to find out from you, based on your experience and having probably sat in different, events and times when people have spoken, 5 seconds looks like it's a lot, but it isn't a lot when you have actually been called upon to speak. And I hear you when we talk about it allowed that 5 seconds or 3 seconds to allow you structure what you want to say. And by structuring, you're looking at maybe introduction, body, and conclusion. I don't think that you can actually think about those three things in 3 to 5 seconds. So my question is there a trick to being able to come up with a way of, I don't know, getting maybe some type of way of beginning to be able to get that flow? I'm imagining that it might be, just think about a topic or maybe introduction, I don't know, whatever. Is there a trick, to be able to go about it within 3 to 5 seconds? Because it sounds like a lot, but really, it isn't a lot. Before you even thank them and think about it, 3 seconds is up. So is there a trick? I feel like there's a trick that people use. What would that be based on your experience? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tombari. And I'll say yes, multiple tricks. The best one is practice, practice, practice. For you, you're saying 5 seconds is not a lot. Chances are you've not been speaking a lot when it comes to impromptu speeches. Note, I'm not saying you're going to have every single part of your speech down. I'm not saying that. But you have an idea of the structure you want to follow. And for those that are not certain what to do, I say pick something. And one of the easiest, I think, is using questions to start. As you're thinking of the structure, you can ponder on what questions to ask. When was the last time you went on a vacation? Maybe the question was, think about and share the ideal vacation for you and your family. You don't really know, you want more time to think. I'm always thinking questions. When was the last time you went on a vacation? Someone raises their hands. You ask them, where did you go to? This whole time you're thinking. You're giving yourself more time to think. And you're engaging the audience. All these things are on there. Engaging the audience, participation, body language, you move your body. Simply by starting with questions. And by the time that person responds, it's either going to trigger something regarding where you want to go, or you might have had enough time to put a skeletal structure to your speech and you just move forward. So one, I would say practice as often as possible. I don't know if you were here when I told people, when you are going to compete, if possible, long before you compete in table topics, attend as many club meetings, volunteer to participate in table topics, practice it in front of friends, families, colleagues, practice. Your brain learns to think faster. And then second, you can just decide, unless you know exactly what to say, always start with questions. For some of you may say, unless you know what to say, always start with stories. But I think questions, it's a very nice place to start. Questions when you're not sure where to start from. Does that help, Toastmaster Tombari?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're very much welcome. Any other questions, please? These names I've never seen before. Toastmaster Ayo Radel. Is that correct? Please go ahead and let me know how your name is pronounced.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmaster John. It's Ayo Radel, actually. So my question is, you kept emphasizing on practice, 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 which is beautiful. But then, are there probably places where we could get resources, more like several table topics questions that come up, so that we could just have this exposure into a plethora of possible questions and then juggle our brains before time, so we like the exposure is wild, and we have trained that part of impromptu stance. I don't know if you understand my question. Like, are there resources? Are there places where we could go and then we just see several probably past table topics, something just to play with the mind ahead of time? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I'm understood.
Yes, you are understood. Thank you for that question. You
Oh
said,
my
are there
gosh.
places we can go?
Is my network terrible?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. All right. All right.
Fantastic. You said, are there places we can go and find perhaps past table topics questions so you can practice, correct?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay. I hope you can still hear me. Toastmaster Francis, please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Loud
We can
and
hear
clear.
you.
Okay. Well, maybe it's Toastmaster Ayoradel's network. Toastmaster Ayoradel, if you can, reach out to me privately. It appears the network is not permitting you to hear my response, but for the sake of others that may be interested in the question you asked, I'm going to say that yes, there are places you can go to now. These places may not have a collection of all past questions, but Toastmasters International has a plethora of resources. And we have these things called AI and the internet at our disposal. Just search online. You're going to come up with many questions. They don't have to be specifically past questions that have been asked during contests, even though you can find some of those questions in TI's resources, in the magazine. Sometimes they'll have some of these things penned down there, but just use the resources you have. Use AI, use the internet, come up with these questions and rehearse. Your brain is trained to get better. Your brain does more of what you have trained it to do. Regardless of the topic, the more you train your brain, the better equipped it will be to attend and answer questions that is just hearing for the first time. Toastmaster Ayoradel, if you can hear me, does that help?
Yes, it does, sir. It did.
Okay.
It did.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ruben, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. John. Good evening, everyone on the call. I just want to add to what you just shared that while you do your practice, if you have anyone you trust their judgment with respect to evaluation, it will be great to have them evaluate you and give feedback. It's quite helpful because we might be blinded to our own strengths and weaknesses thereof. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ruben. Really appreciate that. I was smiling at what Toastmaster Kudus puts in the chat, which is true, by the way. If you happen to know the contest chair in advance, you might have an idea of their proclivities when it comes to asking questions. Very true. And you may start practicing towards those type of questions. It's permitted. Thank you for writing that, Toastmaster Kudus. Now I understand why you do so well in contests. I hope that helps the rest of us that got to read and gain from his insights. Does anyone else have a question? Toastmaster, oh, I said Toastmaster. Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, please go ahead.
He's muted.
Didi, I don't know if you're speaking, but you are still muted unless it's network issue. Okay, I'm going to assume maybe network issue. While we wait for our division director to perhaps ask his question.
So he types he can't unmute.
Oh,
he
okay.
Typed in the chat that he can't unmute.
I'm not sure what Toastmaster Kudus did to prevent you from unmuting. But you can go ahead and type in the chat the question you have. Is there any other question while we're waiting for our division director to ask his question?
Can I kindly
Yes,
go?
Toastmaster
Didi?
John.
Oh, great. Okay.
My question is more of mode of participation. I think it has been something that has been a bit of a contest in recent years. Can you participate in the contest virtually?
Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Jago. It's something we actually need to review. Now, the current contest rulebook says you have to be physically present for all contests, area, level, and above. We need to confirm what that means. To me, that means you cannot participate virtually for anything outside of the club level. But we need to meet and understand that that is actually what they're saying. So from my perspective at the moment, from area and above, you cannot participate virtually. But as I said, we need to go back to the rule book and dissect what it's saying. That is why I read and that's why I understood. And for me, at least in light of AI and what is going on, I can understand why that might be a problem. Maybe they are scared that some people may use some AI to answer the questions. I have no idea. But based on what I read, at the moment, no. But I would love better minds to look at it and then come and see if truly it means no virtual participation or if you have to be physically present. I apologize that I could not give you a definite yes or no. But let's see, there are 48 of us in this room. I'd like to encourage all of us to go and read and confirm if you can participate virtually or not. Toastmaster Ruben, I assume you want to add your voice to this.
Not necessarily. I must just say that it would be a bit tricky given the current geographical dispersion of clubs in areas. But our Didi is here and I'm happy he can answer that. That's above my payroll. Let me ask my own question. My question is, contests are usually high pressure and sometimes tense moments. What's your way of staying level-headed when you get up there so you can perform at least to the best of your ability and not have your performance impaired by being tense or nervous or some other kind of, especially with something like table topics where you don't know, you are supposed to expect the unexpected. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question, Toastmaster Ruben. Fellow Toastmasters, if you've ever competed or you want to compete, you are going to probably face this issue. The nerves. You get nervous, especially with how people escalate it. Maybe your club members are waiting for you to finally be the one that will defeat the other club that has been coming tops in the area or division. And some people that are just coming in, they're calling you distinguished Toastmaster Abubakar. Obviously, you're going to win. There's a lot of pressure. And let me say this. Do you know that some people stop competing because they are scared to lose? In fact, some people stop giving speeches because of the pressure associated with it. Personally, I remind myself that the way to learn is to speak. And part of speaking means you are not always going to win. I have to continue reminding myself. That is something I remind myself constantly. And then I remind myself to celebrate other people a lot. When I go in wanting to win and I find out that I did not do well, after I'm crushed, I try and get up and celebrate the other person a lot. Remind myself what it takes to get better, celebrate others that do better than me. I participated in evaluation speech contest some years ago. At the area level, I think I was runner-up. And really, at that point, I felt my evaluation was better than the winner. But they gave a reason why I didn't win. And I thought, okay, let me work on that. At the division level, I ended up surpassing the other person. because I worked on the feedback they gave me. But it didn't make it easy to lose. It made it easier to move because I understood that part of learning is failing. And he was actually my friend. I celebrated with him. And naturally, too, Toastmaster Ruben, I know if I compete with you in table topics, what chances do I have of beating someone as competent as you, rather? I just have to learn to celebrate with you. Remind myself, you know what? He doesn't hate you. He's your friend. Learn from him, learn from him. It's not easy, but it's part of the growth process. Those two things really work for me. To learn, I have to be able to move forward and accept failure. And second, learn to celebrate others that do better than you. I don't know if that helps at all, Toastmaster Ruben. Maybe you can even share some points from your perspective because you compete a lot.
Thank you very much. I would first of all throw off the very, very, very wrongly apportioned praise and clearly state that I'm speaking with my boss on the call for everyone to hear. Thank you. The second is one thing that I have tried to do personally is to view the contest as a contest with self, to try to ensure I give the best version of myself. And I tell people sometimes I see that I feel like I didn't do great and I win, but I'm still kind of sad because I know I could have done better. And some contests I fail and I see that I did my best and I will really be excited that, oh yeah, I did my best. There's a human thing where you still feel some kind of way, but I would say the nerves prepare you for more complex situations. So just keep throwing your heart in the ring. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Toastmaster Ruben. Our time is up. We've had some great questions. Obviously, this is not the end of it. There's still a lot that was not covered and much more that we can dive deeper into. Toastmaster Jagun was magnanimous enough to post the new updated contest rulebook 2025-2026. You can go to Toastmasters International to get it. At this point, I would give control back to our Toastmaster of the day. Welcome with a virtual round of applause, Toastmaster Francis Mukolu. Toastmaster Francis, over to you, please.
Thank you most kindly, our trainer, par excellence. Well done, Toastmaster John Onumenia. In the spirit of aligning with your mentor, I've done same. I've switched to my mobile device as well. As I said earlier, follow the one that knows the way, and I'm doing that. Well done, Toastmaster John. Please, can we applaud him? We love to show appreciation in Toastmasters, and I want us to do that. He has given us the gift of his time. He has told us to spend some seconds to think. They will tell you to pause is divine. You get to know that when you're asked to pause while giving your speech. He has told us to try to organize our speech within the shortest of time frames that we have. He also told us to attend more and more meetings. Don't get tired of attending meetings. We have 1,001 invites. Several VPP are competing in the division group, playing on words and so on. So join those meetings. He has also told us to start with the judges' criteria. Pull out from your experience. Personal stories sells. He also told us as well to ask questions as we go along. Thank you very much, Toastmaster John Onumia. So before I hand over the baton, okay, we still have some time. So I want to hear our opinion on, I think we didn't mention the role of applause in the contest. Because if you are a witness, if you watched the just concluded international speech contest, the winning speeches, the three of them, I observed even during the speeches, we had applauses, we had people were smiling and so on. So why is it a thing in Division D that we do not applaud during and after the contest? That is my question. So, Master John, do you want to help me out, or my DTM? Why are we scarce?
I would have to. Yeah, I'll have to give it to the DT because I think at least during the contest, definitely you're allowed to applaud, you're allowed to laugh, you're allowed to roll on the. They are going to be judging the response from the audience. I think that's absolutely permitted. And personally, for me, I've not been against applauding after, but it should not be too long because you need to give the judges time to put down their thoughts on paper. I think part of the reason it's done in Division B, I'm hoping that it's at the end because I'm not sure they do during the speech. That would be funny to me. I think part of the reason it's done is so the judges can quickly put their thoughts down. But as I said, the division director is here. His comments supersede mine. So, distinguished Toastmaster Khan, maybe you can give your thoughts.
DTM, chip in a word.
You can type, by the way, if you still can't unmute.
I think I'm able to. Am I audible? All right, thank you so much. Please don't mind me, Toastmaster John. He is the expert. I just happen to be the person who is handling the reins, but everybody knows John is the heartbeat of our training endeavor this mandate, and he's been doing well. So regarding the applause, I think it's sort of a sensitive issue, and I think quite a number of people are making comments. So I would like to clarify here and now. According to the rule book, there is no single reason why people should not applaud during the contest before or after a participant. There are some things that judges do which are based of assumptions, and there are things that are based on the rule book itself. So the idea not to have any applause usually stemmed from the contest chairs that we've had in the past, but there is no reason why people should not applaud a very good speech during the speech or even after the speech at all. There's nowhere that it says so. So please, subsequent contests, feel free to applaud, shout, yell, whatever. If something is funny, laugh. If something is not funny, don't laugh. Really, because the judges need to gauge the audience's perception of the speech as well. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope that clarifies it.
Thank you, my DTM. So, fellow Toastmasters of Division D. So, don't obey your contest chair in the next contest. Whenever he tells you not to applaud, please tell him you have order from above, from the Division D director. I see no reason why we should not applaud. When you get something sweet and juicy, you applaud. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my timekeeper on the beat again. So it's been a pleasure serving as your Toastmaster for today's training. And once again, I will, from the depths of my heart, to appreciate Toastmaster Razak or Dejayi that has told us to go with the 5 P's and we'll win the contest. Like I said, just go with the 5 P's. Put it in your pocket, put it by your bed, put it as sticky notes at the top of your office and so on, and you will win the contest. And Toastmaster John has told us a lot as well. And he told us to practice, 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 and practice. So it's been a great time serving as your Toastmaster of the day before I become scarce. Vice President Education, I mentioned this earlier. Please take note of your members that joined this meeting. They don't have any reason whatsoever not to participate in this contest. Some were indecisive, yeah, no, and there, but now they have been armed by our facilitators and they have no reason not to contest. So go therefore, Vice President Education, and force your members, those that join this training, to participate in the next. You have more than enough contestants. Thank you again. I hereby hand over control of the meeting to the Assistant Programs Quality Director of this mandate, our very own, my chummy, my close pal. You've seen his face before. It's Master John Onumiya. Take it away from me.
Dear Toastmasters, please can we give a virtual round of applause to Toastmaster Francis, the man that loves to wear a smile so that the world will smile back at him as well. I am thoroughly elated that all of us were able to join. At least At the point when I checked, there were 49 devices. I don't know if we ever went beyond that. And I know we had more than 4 vice presidents education in attendance. Please, can we applaud everybody that attended this meeting? We do not take for granted your sacrifice in being here because you want to be excellent at what you do. And for those considering participating in speech contest, 100% I say go for it. It helps you acquire a different set of skills. I would like to appreciate our timer. I like this way of putting the time there so everyone knows exactly what we have. Thank you for always stepping up. Toastmaster Kudus was not supposed to be the timer. The timer was called away inadvertently, and she reached out last minute to Toastmaster Kudus, and as always, he said yes, and he did a spectacular job. Thank you. Sergeant at Arms, thank you so much for starting on time. If you want something to start on time, get Toastmaster Ogona. I rarely ever attend a meeting where he's not the one serving as Sergeant at Arms, unless something has happened. The meeting starts on time. Thank you, Toastmaster Ogona. Toastmaster Razak, our champion when it comes to humorous speeches that thinks he's as tall as I am. Dear Toastmasters and guests, just so please applaud him and type in the chat that even though he's not as tall as I am, his height is acceptable. His wife loves him where he is. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Razak. Some of your colleagues coming to be here and let us know how to become champions when it comes from human speech content. My friend Toastmaster Francis, thank you for adding your spice to the role of Toastmaster of the day. I told Master Francis earlier that if my devices don't permit to be here, that he's going to take charge. And I had no doubt that he would have been able to step in and do a superb job. Thank you for being Toastmaster Francis. For the director and the leader, the program quality director, Toastmaster Ibina, that could not be here. Thank you for what you're doing. We see Division D. I'm so happy with how people are constantly trying to improve themselves. It just shows that people just wanted the opportunity to grow, and you deliver that. I know with this mandate, by the end of the 1 year, we'll be thoroughly impressed with speakers and leaders that Division D churns out. Dear Toastmasters, it's been a pleasure being here. We've spent less than 2 hours, as promised. We'll let you go before clock strikes 5 p.m. We're doing just that. Please, let's go and challenge ourselves. Let's go enjoy our speech contest. Let's go and play it properly. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Reach out to D, delegate appropriately, and reach to the questions. And then Toastmaster Emmanuel, someone else was supposed to table session. She's also a division level champion for table topics, but she was not able to do so because she had an entry too, and she wasn't sure if she'll make it by time. It was this afternoon, not long before this session, that I reached out to Toastmaster Emmanuel, and he said, wow, he didn't know about this, but he will try to be here. He showed up and gave pointers that will hopefully help us beat him in the next table topic session. Thank you so much to Master Imo. Let's go and enjoy the rest of our weekend, and I look forward to spectacular level of speech contest from the club level all the way to. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Oh, can you imagine? I didn't even appreciate Zoom Master. My apologies. Our Zoom Master. Our Zoom Master will pay you enough for what you do. The first person to join in today, Toastmaster Jagon, thank you so much. We really appreciate what you're doing, and you made the meeting seamless. We thoroughly appreciate you always being available. Thank you so much. And now, officially, we bring this meeting to an end. Take care, everyone. Face to face. The Didi has spoken, please. I believe you're saying that our contest should be physical.
Yes, please. All contests across all clubs, areas, and divisions should be physical. If a contestant is participating, he has to be physical. But the contest can be spectated. For example, an area contest could be spectated for virtual attendees elsewhere. But if a person is participating in the contest, they have to be there.
Thank you so much, Didi. We'll pass the message along to those that have left and others that were not able to attend. For those of you here, you're from the division director. Our contest in this mandate should all be physical, please. Our guests and non-participating members can watch virtually, but the contestants should be there physically. We'll see how we can attend to it as we move forward. Enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend, everyone.